Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. I am, of course, the enlightened one. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not even funny.
I'm
All
I'm
right,
with you here too, Craig the Gray, ready for another great show, Paranormal,
Craig the
Wrestling with the
Gray.
Paranormal.
I am stealing your gimmick, sir. I also love Gray.
Gray hats all the way down.
I'm Aaron the Purple. So today we are talking about one of the most mysterious um, things that happened in Australia of all time. Uh, it's about. Do you know what her last name? Her first name is Marie. Did you get her last name?
Didn't get the last name. That's a good question. Nope. But it's a disappearance in Australia. I got the place, Watervale, Australia.
Yeah, Watervale, Australia. It's in southern Australia, and the place is a small town, and it's a lot like California. They have vineyards. It's a bit of a tourist sort of thing in the summer and everything. But I'll just go right into the story here, and turn off my phone because that's always nice, right?
Totally unprepared to do
I
a
know,
podcast tonight.
I
At
know.
least you put your t-shirt on. You got your t-shirt behind you. Look at those
Yeah.
lovely Wrestling with the Paranormal t-shirts. I've got a t-shirt behind me here. Oh, no. Oh. There we go.
You know what I just noticed?
How does
The
he do it?
logo of our show and the logo of the shirt are miraculously in sync.
Check this out. What? There's a logo behind the logo.
What? The
Oh
man,
my
the skull
god.
behind the skull.
The skull behind the skull. I love it. It's great.
So, um, this all really starts September 29th, 2016, and her name is Jenny Roth, and she is a city girl through and through. She's lived her city all her life, and so she ends up dating this girl named Abigail, and they're in love, and they decide that they need to move to Watervale because her dad is sick and they're going to be able to be closer to her dad. And so, because she loves Abigail so much, she moves there with her. And they end up moving really next door to these wonderful people, and they become really close to a girl named Jenny, and her husband's name is
Roger. Now,
Roger.
I know this is a complicated story. It's got 4 characters in it. So what I've done for the audience today is I've made a little map. Okay, you've got Jenny and Abigail. Okay, they're girlfriends, and they're neighbors with Marie and Roger, and they're a lovely married couple.
Is that their fence there?
That's the fence in between the 2 houses. See, so if you get confused, you know you got a little.
I'll ask you to put that sign up again.
Exactly. These are the 4 characters in the story.
All right, so Abigail, I'm sorry, not Abigail, Jenny Roth. She is she's a little worried about moving here because she's a big town girl. She's loved to live in the big city her whole life, and so she gets to know Marie right away because she likes to go out on the front porch and the backyard, and you know. She has a cigarette at nighttime, and this is when Marie, she likes to get ready for jogging, and so often while she's doing her stretches, they'll have chit chats back and forth, and they'll get to know each other, and it's almost a daily routine when Marie's gardening, uh, Jenny's doing something like putting up the clothes or something like that. And, they're just chit-chatting back and forth, and they've become good friends. And one evening in particular, they're they're in the front yard. She's having her cigarette, and Marie is stretching to go out. She invites Jenny to go along. And I'm getting this idea she's smoking. She's not really the running type, but she claims she is. So she says,
Don't we all? Don't we
"Yeah,
all
we all.
claim to
Oh,
run?
yeah, I run.
I love running. I would go for a run. I just got to finish this cigarette.
I'll come with you next time." Anyways, so she invites her every time, and every time Jenny says no. And so the route that she runs on, there's like bushes and trees, and it's just mass forest alongside of a road and marshes and whatnot. And it's really kind of deserted once you leave that little small area of the town, and there's nothing there. And so it came about the next morning that Jenny was in the backyard taking out some clothes to put on the line. And she looks over and she sees Marie in a chair in the middle of the yard. And she's just kind of looking down, and she's looking like in her own little world. She's disturbed. Mm. And Jenny goes, "Hi, Marie." And Marie doesn't say anything. She's just in her own little world. And it's kind of bothering Jenny. And she continues putting all the clothes on the line. And she looks over and she sees Marie just gaze in this trance. Mm-hmm. And she again, so she goes, "Hey." I said, "Hi, how are you?" And I guess Marie shook out of it. I said, "Oh, sorry, I'm in my own little world. Sorry about that." But right after, she goes right back into the trance, and it's just kind of zoned right out of it. And so Jenny was going to go inside the house and just kind of forget about it, but it was kind of nagging at her. So she goes back over to the fence, and she's like, "Listen, Marie, are you okay?" And Jenny and Marie goes, "Fine." And that didn't really sit well with Jenny. So she just kind of pushed. She was risking her friendship with her, kind of pushing her there. And he's like, "No, what's going on? Like, you don't seem like yourself." And with enough persistence, she finally spilled the beans and says, "Listen, you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. My husband, Roger, he doesn't believe me. So you're probably not going to believe me either. Well, I was running out on my run the other day. I saw 3 objects in the sky near the horizon where the sun was going down, and I noticed them that they were about 50 feet wide. They were metallic and they were circular, and they made no sound when they moved. Now, these objects were about 300 meters from where she stood. And she just kind of opened her mouth like this and was just kind of staring at them. And they stayed there for about 3 minutes staring back at her. And then they moved off into the line of the trees, and she never saw them anymore. But so she told Jenny that she didn't believe in aliens and still doesn't. But these objects were out of this world. She said
like
they were
not from this world.
Yeah, not from this world.
Not like they're so cool. They're out of this world.
Yeah. Out of this world, man.
It was out of this world, man.
Kind of reminds me of that episode of Alf where he's singing to the girl.
And they make a music video.
Yeah.
Alf
Baby
was
Yoda.
not from this world.
Yes, he had a crush on Lynn, remember? And he sang that song, You're the one
Oh,
in this
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she didn't believe in aliens, but she knew there was something strange about these objects. She said they're unnatural and ominous about the way they behaved. So they're threatening or suspicious. And this is where I make the tag to you. Make the
Oh
tag.
wait, I got on the other side. That's easy if we just do it like that.
Yeah.
Right to the screen. Audience can join in. Just tag the screen with us.
Make the tag.
Okay, so we had Marie went out. She saw those objects. It's actually she was doing this run every day, like you said, and after that encounter with those objects, it actually took her weeks to work up the courage to go running again. So she was clearly disturbed by those objects because she was running every day.
I'm really shocked that she went running again after that.
In the same place. She goes back to the same place, which is very suspicious. But maybe it's just the best place to run in Waterville. I don't know.
I'm almost wondering if.
Well, we could talk about it later. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, we'll talk about
maybe
that.
she was attracted to it. So anyway, now let's jump ahead to the 21st of October. So about a month later, almost a month later, Jenny and Abigail just having a nice night sitting on the sofa watching TV. All of a sudden they hear a knock at the door. It's both of their neighbors, Marie and Roger. And Marie is bent over, gasping for air. And Roger just starts, in like, sorry for bothering you. My wife's hallucinating again. She's seeing these objects. He doesn't believe her at all. Like, he doesn't believe her. I guess she'd gone running. She saw them again. And she went to him and told him about it. Marisa tells him to shut up. And she explains to Jenny that they were there again. The same objects. She saw them again. This time, she was running in the same spot. They seemed to appear out of nowhere, and then they started approaching her. So she actually got even more scared this time. She ran, like you said, there's lots of woods in that area. She ran into some woods and hid in the woods from these objects. She hid for an hour because she was so scared of them. They eventually go away. She runs all the way home. That's why she's out of breath. She's gasping for air. She's had this whole episode, right? Roger doesn't believe anything about these objects, okay? I mean, he must obviously be concerned that his wife is this disturbed by something happening. And the couple start arguing about it, like on their porch. This must be hard on Jenny. She's seen her neighbor go through this. She doesn't know what's going on. But Marie doesn't actually seem to be that frightened by the second encounter. In fact, she almost seems emboldened, and she says she wants to go back there the next day.
Wow.
Which is weird because that's a different reaction than she just had to the first encounter where she didn't want to go running for weeks. Now she wants to go back the next day for some reason. Jenny is thinking like, I can't let her go out there by herself, right? Obviously the husband's not going to go with her because he doesn't believe anything's happening. So Jenny agrees to, did you just switch the camera around?
What just happened?
Wow, we got some special effects this show. More special effects than we've had in any show before. So Jenny agrees to go with Marie.
I was thinking we make the tag that we change positions.
Oh, I like it. It's clever. So the next day, Jenny and Marie go. It's 8 miles out of town, like you said. I think the area they go running in is called like Spring Gully. Yeah, is the area. Jenny brings a camera because she thinks these objects, she might be able to get some pictures of them. So they go out to the same area, but they brought a camera, and as we know from UFO sightings, this happens sometimes. They didn't appear that time. There was no objects. They went the next night. They didn't see any objects. This is Jenny and Marie going together. They go the next night. They don't see any objects. 5 nights in a row they go, and there's no objects. The 3 objects don't appear. Nothing happens. So Jenny's kind of like discouraged by this, but Marie like really wants to keep going and proving her husband wrong. I think there's also something going on there with her husband where it's like, she really wants to like show him that this is actually happening.
Yeah.
So Marie keeps going running and keeps doing her thing. Jenny stops going with her because she kind of like 5 nights in a row, nothing happened. We also established that she's not much of a runner.
And also Abigail is getting jealous.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah.
Which is we'll talk about later.
Yeah. So Jenny's girlfriend, if you remember the little chart. So Jenny's girlfriend, Abigail, she's jealous that Jenny's spending so much time with Marie, her neighbor, right? 5 days in a row, she hasn't seen her because she keeps going looking for these UFOs that don't appear. So that's another reason that Jenny kind of
you got to wonder if something going on in her head. Is the mind playing tricks on her? Oh, they're having an affair or something like that.
Yeah, you never know. So yeah, Jenny stops going with her. Now we got to jump to the 30th of October. So this is over a week later. 1:30 a.m. Jenny is woken up by a loud thumping. Roger, completely panicked, is pounding on their door, their neighbor. They open the door and he's like, "Is she here? Where is she? Is she over here?" He hadn't seen Jenny all evening after she'd gone for her run. She goes for her run at 6 p.m. He hadn't seen her for a while. He figured she went out and visited somebody after her run. So he falls asleep on the couch thinking, "Oh, she'll come home later," right? He fell asleep on the couch, but he woke up at 1 a.m. in the morning. She still wasn't back. So then she's been gone for, what is that, like 7 hours, 1 a.m. in the morning. So that's when he freaked out. He's looking for her. He goes to his neighbors. Jenny agrees to go drive with him to go look for her on the run because Jenny knows the way, right? Because Jenny went with her a couple times. So Jenny and Roger go to drive to look for her. Roger drives super slow. He's yelling out the window for his wife, trying to find her, calling out her name. They keep searching until 4 a.m. When they get back, Marie's still not home. Jenny tries to reassure Roger, like, well, she'll probably come back. Maybe she went out somewhere. Hopefully she'll be back in the next day. Next day, Jenny wakes up. The police are at Roger's house. He's filing the missing persons. The police get a whole crew of volunteers and police to start a search the next day. This grows into like a statewide search with hundreds of police officers, sniffer dogs. It's a major news story. Search party finds nothing. They have missing posters up. There's news reports. Strangely, though, they do all this searching on November 11th. So this is already, they've been searching for 12 days. November 11th, the police actually find a pair of running shoes. And something weird about these running shoes, they found these running shoes like in a bush. They had the laces still done up and socks inside their running shoes in a way that it almost seemed like the person who had been wearing the shoes had just been like evaporated or like sucked out of the shoes, right?
Wow.
They take these shoes to Roger. He IDs them as his wife's shoes. So those were Marie's running shoes. So that was that's the only trace they found of her. There was none of her stuff was missing, so it didn't look like she ran away. The phone company tracked her phone. No phone call was made.
Yeah, like the phone.
No text, nothing.
The phone was off the face of the planet now.
They not even on the grid.
Yeah.
So it seems like, yeah, she's completely gone. They search for a whole month. The search doesn't get called off until November 31st. And then, they ask questions in town because, like, well, maybe something suspicious happened in town. Townspeople said that, she didn't seem like she was disturbed by anything or were talking about running away. Roger becomes a suspect because you want to look at the husband and see maybe there was some foul play. From what the police could tell, though, they had a good marriage. He's a nice guy. None of the townspeople had anything bad to say about him. At this point, a lot of people just assumed she was probably kidnapped. That was kind of what the police never said officially what happened. But, people got the sense that, like, yeah, they probably just think it was a kidnapping. But they looked for tracks, like tire tracks in the area. Was there other vehicles that weren't usually there? Found nothing. There was nothing on that run where she went. The only tire tracks were Roger's for when her when Roger and Jenny went to look for her. There was no other tracks because it's not a very busy area, like we said before. So if she had been kidnapped, where was the vehicle that took her? Right? Like,
Yeah.
Now to cap it all off, Jenny and Abigail, like you said before, they were only living in Watervale for her father, who had been terminally ill. He passes away after a while. They continue to live there for the last 4 years. They're still there. And part of it is that Jenny feels like, she was such good friends with Marie, and she just wonders if Marie's ever going to come back one day. So they have both stayed in Waterville.
Yeah, that was a troubling story. Like what happened to her?
Yeah. And I think like one of the weirdest things about it, whoa, we just switched around again.
Wow. It's like that show Trading Freaky Friday where we changed bodies.
This is crazy. But I think like one of the things that's really strange is that she seemed to really want to find these objects. Like I think some people see UFOs and they get kind of freaked out and they don't want to go back to that place. They don't want to find them.
Okay, so let's analyze that, because first off, she is very, very troubled in the backyard when Jenny's talking to her. So much like she's in a trance.
Mhm.
And she Marie didn't believe there were UFOs. So that's interesting.
She didn't believe in aliens, right? Like she even said
Yeah, so she didn't know what they were, but she knew it wasn't aliens, but she didn't know what they were. And it was, I'm almost thinking if it was messing with her mind spiritually and just really messing with her, because it was almost like it was calling her back.
Yeah.
And it was interesting when Jenny came with her on the run, nothing, because they didn't want Jenny around. They weren't interested in Jenny being there.
That's a very interesting thing. It's like there's obviously some kind of agency or intelligence in these objects that they could tell the difference between one human being there and then two, and they don't want to show up when there's two people, right? And also the shoes thing is interesting. Not something we've seen in other cases. I don't know if I've come across that. Finding the shoes like that, they're still laced up. The socks are in them. Like they said, the socks were in them and kind of spread out in a way. Like the socks were going all the way to the bottom of the shoe, as if there was an invisible foot in the shoe still when they found them. Like, you know what I mean? Like it looks like someone's wearing the shoe the way the sock is. So that's really strange. I don't know what that's
about. The other thing was the jealousy of Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
That got me thinking is it possible that the jealousy was started not by Abigail's own mind, but by the entities?
So that Jenny would stop going.
Yeah, just kind of like
Marie.
pop the thought into her head. And
like what level of manipulation is going on with these people?
Yeah,
even like, Roger was so adamant that nothing was happening, right? And the townspeople said that they had a good marriage and they got along. They had the normal arguments that couples might have.
Yeah, for if Jenny was to still go with her, she probably wouldn't have been taken. And if Roger would have been supportive, she probably would have gone missing either.
Yeah.
So, like, you're right. Is there manipulation on Roger to just be like, you're stupid, blah, blah, like, which isn't who he really is, because they got along and they loved each other a lot. And to it almost makes me think there's some sort of mental manipulation going on there.
Also, it seems weird that like this stuff would happen and he wouldn't tell her to stop going running. You know what I mean? Like, it's strange that nobody like told her like maybe you shouldn't go running to these woods alone. where you're seeing
That is
objects floating in the sky. You know,
that is very interesting, right? Like, you know, if you were doing that, I would be like, listen, Craig, maybe it's not a good idea that you
I gotta
go
go
around.
back there. I gotta go back out. I gotta go back. I gotta go. I gotta go back out there. I mean,
But
she
you
was
know,
going there every night.
maybe they were saying that though,
Maybe, yeah. I didn't.
and
Yeah,
maybe
it
she's
could have
just
been.
one of those people is headstrong and is going to do what she's going to do, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. But just crazy. Like, I think is this the first time? Like, we've seen a lot of UFO stories. We've seen the ranches. We've talked about how like entities will visit and kind of terrorize and torture people almost and mutilate animals and things like that. But I think this is the first one we've seen where it's like they just took somebody, she's gone. Right?
well, we don't know if
It's
she's
been
dead.
5 years. We don't know if she's dead, but it's been 5 years, right? It seems like Jenny has some sense that maybe she'll come back because they're staying there, and maybe she wants to be there for her friend if her friend does return. But
Maybe she's already back, but in another place. And her
have you
mind
ever
totally.
seen? Have you ever seen the Fire in the Sky movie?
Yeah, that's a true story.
That was based on a true story. That person got abducted and returned, right? And he
But
lost
he wasn't
time.
gone nowhere near as long as
No, but he wasn't gone that long.
Marie.
But that's a case where it's like, you know, somebody did come back from an abduction. Um, I don't know. This is a dark case, kind of. We used to discuss. We've discussed on the show a lot how like a lot of times these entities don't seem to hurt humans. They'll hurt animals. They'll scare humans. You know, maybe watch them while they're sleeping. That one we talked about last time, where it looked like the thing was trying to take the guy's wife. She was like floating in their room and stuff.
Very,
It didn't
very
actually.
similar, right?
Very similar, yeah.
Like
Uh,
it was the beam of light taking her, and that's what happened to Marie.
Stardust Ranch on the
So,
previous episode. But I think this is like another level of like taking somebody, they're completely gone.
well, not only that, stalking them.
Yeah.
Like it was a stalking.
Now, this is something that we haven't talked about really yet, but we've discussed these ranches: Stardust Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch. This happens in the Outback. That's what the Australian country is called, the Outback, right? It seems very much a pattern that like UFOs and these entities affect people out in the country, away from cities, away from civilization, right?
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Um, let's get into that. Like, what is it about? I guess they're bullies, and what does a bully like to do?
Get
It
somebody
likes
cornered, get
it
them
likes
going.
to deal with one person,
Yeah,
not a crowd, right? Even if abductors, human abductors, they're not going to abduct two people.
right.
They're going to go for the easy prey and abduct one person.
That's true. I've never seen an abduction story with multiple people being abducted at the same time. I don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah, not that I
Well, I'm
can
talking
think
about
of.
people getting abducted
Yeah, I know. Even
by
just
other
like by
people.
other people, totally.
Yeah.
Well, because it's more to deal with. You got to deal with, two people, and it's
Yeah, you got two people fighting two people off. Like it's
Yeah.
easier. That's why they say the buddy system, right? When girls go out at night and
I think too. There's a certain amount to them. Like these entities don't want to be seen, or like they do want to be seen by someone they're stalking, but they don't want to be seen by like a bunch of people. They don't want to be captured on camera. They don't want to go around cities. They probably know that there's cameras in cities and that there's lots of people and that they have footage that way, right? Which is why I'm often skeptical about like some of the UFO footage you see over cities, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to match up with a lot of the stories we hear. So
yeah, it's an interesting one. Um, don't go jogging at night. I'll tell you that. Not going jogging at night now. Yeah.
Go in the middle of the afternoon. Which did you know this? That in Australia, they call the afternoon the arvo.
Oh, the Arvo,
Hey,
mate.
go for a job in the Arvo.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, I will go. I
So British right now.
don't know.
Can't
Put
do
another shrimp on the barbie. That's how you have to do it. You have to do the
Bobby.
shrimp,
Bobby means
shrimp on the
barbecue.
barbie. If you do the shrimp part, then you'll get your accent
Shrimp.
right.
Put another shrimp on the Bobby.
Do
Bobby.
do you remember the wrestler Outback Jack?
Outback Jack. Yes, I
You
do.
remember him?
I do.
He was they did a promo for him coming, like he's coming week after week. He's like, Outback Jack is coming. And the moment he gets there, he's losing every match. I'm like, what the?
Was that like, you mean when they first were introducing him?
Yeah, they did promos
Oh,
like
yeah.
Outback Jack
Yeah.
is coming. Watch for Outback Jack.
Look out. Look
Yeah.
out.
And then he comes in and promptly loses every single match.
Is he a heel or a face?
He was a face.
He's a
Do you
face,
remember
okay.
they had the tall and the kangaroo down? Swoop, tall and the kangaroo down. That was his main.
Right. Okay, yeah. I don't remember his like matches or anything. I think I had the toy, maybe. I think
But
we
yeah,
had an Outback Jack toy.
Yeah, he would lose every single match. Oh my goodness. I got to think of something better for next week on my camera.
You're having technical difficulties here.
Yes. It's aliens trying to steal my phone. Damn it. You remember when our previous co-host got abducted by the
Yeah.
aliens?
And
Whatever
then we just
happened to-
stopped. We stopped having him on the show.
Yeah, he just
gone.
he was never on the show ever again. And
We should try to get a guest.
well, if he's still out there, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like you just took over as the co-host after that. Oh man.
I'm looking up different Australian slang. I mean, we all know about good day. They say good day. Good day.
Bye, mate. Yeah.
Good day, mate. The outback is the interior of Australia, even more remote than the bush.
Well, what they were saying is that a lot of Australia is inhabitable.
Uninhabitable.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, because it's too dry and hot. It's like a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like us here in Canada, where a lot of the north is just wilderness. And
Yeah.
but,
Do you know what they call a swimsuit?
no, you're going to tell me though.
Your bathers.
Hey, put on your bathers.
Get your bathers on, mate. Hey, g'day. And they have so they call Speedos budgie smugglers.
Budgie smugglers. Hey, put on your budgie smugglers. Let's go for a swim.
You gonna wear your budgie smugglers?
Budgie smugglers.
I just keep doing British. I can't do Australian.
It's very similar.
I know. The famous movie Crocodile Dundee, he says, you call it a knife.
Still not.
It's still British.
A knife. This is a knife.
This is
a knife.
And then the Simpsons did it and they played Knifey Spoony. Oh, I see you played Knifey Spoony. Because he has a spoon in his name.
Yeah.
Australia.
Not every joke hits. Not every joke hits.
What are you saying? My jokes don't hit.
No, a lot of them do. I know with myself. Some of my jokes.
People might think we pre-plan our jokes. We don't pre-plan any jokes.
Look at this.
Is that our sponsor?
Look how giant I am. This little can.
So today we're sponsored by Loco Cola, which is a soda can. That's too small to be a soda can.
Anyways, yeah. What do you think about this episode? Did you think we nailed it all or what?
Is it believable or not believable? I'm pretty. There's lots of details, and the fact that Jenny's still living there. I think, I don't know if it's aliens necessarily. They're just UFOs. We don't know. Could be some kind of entity, but the person's gone. What more evidence do you need that something happened? There's a human being that's missing now. Sure, it could have been foul play from other humans. Maybe. The police did a really good search, though.
Could it be that the only person that saw this was Marie?
Yeah.
By Marie's words.
Yeah.
So what if she had somebody from another town that she was into,
Oh.
and she played this out and played everyone like fiddle
And left all
to
her
get out of
stuff
her marriage? And she didn't. She just wanted to. It could be a game that she did.
and just like destroyed her own phone. Could you imagine she destroyed her own phone?
Well, that's
Right?
the least of the things that she's doing there.
She had to leave
She's
everything
leaving
behind
all
though.
her
Like,
stuff at the house, right?
she's leaving with just her whatever she jogs in, her jogging suit. She doesn't even have her shoes. She had to leave her shoes behind.
But if she's in love with another man, he's coming with the vehicle. They're leaving the socks and the shoes there, and they have this story. And the fact that Jenny came with her for all those times, they led it up
To make
perfectly.
it a more believable story.
Yeah, and it's very possible that it was.
It's true that you're right. Like, all we have to go on are Marie's words, and she's the person who's gone. So, and I think that's maybe a first on this show that like most of the stories we report on, there's like witnesses that are still either there, like the guy at Stardust Ranch. You know, he was still there for a while.
Yeah.
He was filming videos and stuff, and like
So
you
we're
can
getting
see his
we're getting the story secondhand,
yeah,
told by Jenny
yeah,
from her friend Marie.
yeah. Like the only thing that's guaranteed is that it is a disappearance because the police were searching and like there's obviously someone is gone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could. That would be the most. I think that's more likely than just a random kidnapping that just happened to happen after she had a UFO sighting. Because I was thinking about that too. Like, yeah, maybe she did
Yeah,
just
like
get
that's the only
kidnapped.
plot.
But like, what are the odds that she got kidnapped after having seen UFOs there a month earlier?
Okay, so
Like,
plausible. There's two things that happened. Could happen, in my opinion. There's only two things that could have happened. She was abducted by an alien or UFO entity, whatever, or she planned this whole thing, masterminded it all to escape her marriage with
Yeah.
Roger, and wanted to get out of that town.
Yeah, and she just maybe wanted him to stop looking for her, like to not pursue her or anything. And I guess if you think someone's
you think about it,
abducted,
it's actually brilliant to play it out over what's it, almost like 2 months.
it's a long time. Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah. To build it up, brilliant.
But what she's putting her, I mean, I guess she's not really friends with Jenny though, because it's putting Jenny through a lot, right?
Well, if you want to achieve something and your mind is enough to do it, you don't care. Like if you're leaving your husband, you're not going to care about the neighbor. If you want that better life with someone else, maybe he's got a lot of money, who knows?
Maybe she never liked Jenny because Jenny refused to go running with her the first time, because she's just smoking.
Did it all to screw over Jenny. It wasn't even about her husband, Roger.
Yeah, it was just like, you don't want to run with me?
Jenny,
I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
She's gonna leave her whole marriage, everything, just to screw over Jenny.
Wow. Well, that's a far-fetched theory, but it could be. Never know. You never know with these things.
But yeah, it's very possible that she did the whole story herself, and because I've never heard of anyone. This is the only time I've ever heard of anyone being abducted by some UFO or something and not reappearing.
Won't it be strange though if she reappears? Like 6 years, 5 years later, 6 years later, wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be insane. Like, what do people need for proof that there's something going on in the world? Like that'd be insane if someone just reappeared and they hadn't aged a day or something like that.
Maybe she's up on their planet teaching them how to run.
Do you remember the movie Flight of the Navigator?
I love that movie.
So that movie, the kid gets abducted and then he reappears like 10 years later or something. And his brother's like older than him now. Like his kid brother's older than him and his parents are older and he's all spooked out because he has no memory of what happened, right? The movie is weird.
Yeah. It was a great movie.
It's good. Yeah.
Was that Fred Savage when he was a bit younger? Or?
I don't think
Oh
so. I
no.
can't remember. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
It's like an old Disney
we
movie.
rented that movie when we were kids, and we must have watched it. Like we even like we wanted our mom to let us keep it another couple days, and so she had to pay the late fee. But we kept watching it like over and over
The
again.
scene I always remember is like the spaceship has a little zoo of aliens, and they're like these
Right.
weird little puppets. Yeah, and he gets one that's like his little friend, and he like puts in his backpack or whatever. I
Oh,
always
yeah.
thought that was really cool. Yeah.
So I guess this is the episode. Nothing more to discuss because it's either one of two things. She either made it up to leave her husband, or she was abducted. Because like the other part doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, being a if the chances of her being abducted after having a UFO sighting, like, and she's not setting it up, like it's not a setup, seems
Yeah.
really un. Yeah.
So.
But lesson learned: don't go jogging in the country by yourself. And if you see UFOs, don't go back to that spot.
Yeah, don't let it mess with you. Just say no to UFOs.
Say no to UFOs.
That's a
Just
shirt,
say
right?
no.
That
Just
could be
say no. It's like the opposite of I believe or just believe.
just
What was
say
the
no
one?
to
Just
UFOs.
say no.
And we could have like a Ghostbuster symbol with an alien in it, or with a spaceship.
With the crossover, yeah, a little X
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Yeah.
Just say no to
Just say no.
UFOs.
They're tricking you. They're tricking people. It's a trick.
Yeah, we don't even know if they're actually aliens. They could be demons, as we said,
It's
messing
true.
with people's minds.
Just messing with your mind.
So, yeah. So,
Just like this logo is messing with your mind. Look at that. What? It's on the t-shirt again. Up in the corner there. Get yourself a t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees.
How come you don't put the shirt on the hat area? Is that a hook there?
Yeah.
Well, that's the bigger area. You should put it
Never
on the
thought
hat
of
area.
it. I keep like balancing it on my closet. Oh.
Yeah, you got a hook, perfectly good hook right there.
I could put it on a hanger and just hook it there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well,
And it's the bigger area, right? Anyway,
I don't build the set. Okay, this is a set. The set people that we hire, they build the sets.
Right.
They figure it out. Okay. You think I do my own makeup? Or costuming? I don't put this together. This is all the costume department.
Your lipstick looks fabulous tonight. Pucker up.
We're getting close to the road to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes, holy crap.
Tell a friend.
Yeah. If you guys want to subscribe, tell a friend, hit that bell, and every time we come on, we actually had a really good show today on Just Another FM podcast. We did the greatest championship belts of all time, and we talked. It was a really good show. We had a lot of people commenting and talking on the show, and we recorded another episode that's going to go on YouTube this week.
Nice.
It is. It's called Wrestling is for Everyone.
Oh.
And we interviewed two Special Olympians.
Cool.
And so look for that later this week when we put it on YouTube. So yeah, that's good. And they were just really fun. They're joking around, telling they're gonna beat up their opponents this week, and they're just playing kayfabe and just enjoying.
That's awesome.
The community that we've created. So
awesome.
Yeah, so Wrestling is for Everyone. Look for it this week on YouTube. If you want a t-shirt, slap a t-shirt on your back, baby. You won't regret it. We got Wrestling with the Paranormal. And maybe one day we will have Just Say No to UFOs.
Just say no to UFOs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool shirt.
It's our motto. That's our motto here. Yeah.
And we'll just have the little Wrestling with the Paranormal logo in the corner. And,
I like that. I like it.
I also want the tinfoil hat one. I think that would be Really good shirt.
Look at what we do. Live brainstorming. This is a live brainstorming session.
If you have any ideas for us for wrestling with the paranormal,
Put it in the comments.
put it in the comments. Say what you want a wrestling paranormal shirt to look like. Let us know. But yeah, visit prowrestlingtees.com/F and wrestling. We have so many shirts now. I almost have all of them. I got to collect them all, as they say in Pokemon. Yeah, and subscribe. And yeah, I think
Got
that
your
is
button on
our
got your
show.
finger on the trigger.
I got my
Remember,
finger on the
everybody.
trigger, baby.
Just remember, everybody. Keep on wrestling.